Hi, here goes. A random no blows, no holds, run through and little expression. Showcase of my room. I'd just like to talk quickly about why I'm doing this, and the main reason is that I think my room's quite unique in that, well, you'll see shortly, but I've got a lot of stuff stuck up everywhere which others might consider to be junk or something. So in watching this, I'd also like to make a point of how junk or just stuff, like a lot of things, it's that word. It's relative. It's relative to whether someone has a preference for that thing. Music, chocolate, whether you like it or not. There are people that don't somehow, but no, I understand. Maybe just everything. It's all whether you take a liking and resonate with it. Anyway, this is my room. Yeah. So I'll start with the door, because that in itself is interesting. As you can see, I love stickers. All sorts. This orange one here, it says Bravo. I actually designed that when I was in year 9, and I won a French sticker competition for it, which they used all those stickers where other people had also won a prize by entering their sticker design for the whole year, all around WA, so that was pretty cool. There's a photo of my sister and me and my mum. I hope this camera is. I'm doing the front thing, so we'll see what happens. This sign says, "Please come in, knock first." It's a bit hard to see, but yeah, I designed that when I was about 11, 12 or something. And on the back, which I rarely leave it on here anymore, it says, "Do not enter or else." And it should be writing. I drew that when I was in like year 3 or something. This one, I was in year maybe 5 or 6. It's actually a lino print. I don't have the original lino print anymore, but yeah, I still have a couple of copies of said print, so that's nice. Yeah, me playing guitar. That was at my parents' renewal of vows ceremony. Played as people arrived, and it was fun. And yeah, so as I'm saying this, I'm telling stories about things that I remember when I see these things on my door. And that's because, for me, and maybe you without realizing it, the things you keep and have are an expression of yourself. They trigger memories because when we're in a place or with a person or doing something, holding a particular thing, we think about the things associated with that. That's how our brains work. So I really enjoy keeping all these things that trigger memories and remind me of where I've been and where I've come from. Down here I've got a bunch of Unkara Space Tribe tags and I use them for bookmarks predominantly, but the shop's now closed, so it's pretty cool to have that from something that doesn't exist anymore. A bit sad, but it's still cool. And this star thing, and I'll just get the camera right. Oh god, this is a bad idea. That one. The yellow and black stars. I basically got a random layout of different sticky things. And I was pretty bored and feeling artistic, so maybe I was cleaning my room and procrastinating. Who knows? Anyway, I decided to stick them in this interesting shape because fuck it, why not? Like, it looks cool, I reckon. Don't know what you think, but I like it. And that's what's important in this situation. Anyway, here's a cross, which I'm going to make another video at another point talking about my particular understanding of religion and faith and etc.'s. But at its heart, which I'll mention now, is that I'd like to understand all religions to some extent and to respect them regardless of what my faith is and what theirs might be. And if everyone did that, I think we could all just get along and shit and have our own particular faith, but be accepting that others have different faiths. And anyway, another time. Let's enter. Yes, so this is my room. I'm just going to move around slowly. Pedal bag. Yep. Second-hand washing basket. Useful. More clothes. I use this one. I had to mend it twice. I stacked it just after I mended it the first time. Ripped open again. It's my art shirt, so in that situation I'm using a particular piece of clothing to put me in a mind frame, and then every time I put that piece of clothing on, I'm going to have the association and intention of getting in the mindset of being creative, and whether or not I have a flow of wanting to actually paint, because it's very easy, or draw for that matter, to get into a state where you want to do something but you're feeling lazy and stuck, and so you don't, and you just sit there and eat some ice cream or something. There's a secret little thing at the back. Ooh, it's gonna fall. Anyway, there's a few pentagrams, and it says peace, love, unity, respect, and light. That's one of my little sayings. More stuff. Ooh, light switch. There's these posters, postcards, some from India, some from my most recent birthday and last year in December 21st. Woo! Made it somewhere. And now I've made it somewhere again. And again. And again. And again. Because time's continuous, you know? Maybe not. Anyway. This pillow I made in year 9, tie-dyed it, and then they're the initials of my immediate family. Feel embarrassed and don't want to say them, but just trust. Meow. I bought this cool cloth thing at the doof I went to over New Year's, which I won't unfold because I just got it nice. But yeah, basically it's a big elephant behind a tree or underneath a tree or something. And I was wearing it as a cape originally, but now it's my like bedsheet thing. Here we have a couple of lyrics things I made with my friend, and we decided to do like read the lyrics and then draw according to it. Since love and life are new, I'll read you these another time, viewer. That is such a weird term. Fucking person, creature. It just... Oh, God, this platform is ridiculous. Like, internet, right? Anyway, here's some descriptions of some of the crystals I have. Tree agate, sodalite, bloodstone, carnelian, quartz points, brecciated jasper, sodalite, black tourmaline or schorl, bronzite, amethyst, melanite, amethyst natural points, which is, it's just an elaboration on how to let energy flow and stuff in some way, but it's not very specific, so I don't know how useful it is. Scepter crystal. Oh yeah, I'll show you this next. Is all the crystals. I've just done a thorough smudging of my room. You can use a lot of things, but currently I'm using a hand rolled sandalwood incense, I believe, and probably. Anyway, it's from a lovely shop called Halkaby Organics, which is near the Hickle Pickle Ferry shop, or Gelare in Fremantle. Check it out. There's great stuff there, essential oils and perfumes and fun things. Anyway, yeah, there's some of my crystals. There's also some in that jacket over there, the denim one, which is from my dad. Me and my sister commandeered 2 of his jackets that he has. Here's the back of my door. That was when I was 18 or something, and probably in a depressive state, and sad and tired and working full time, maybe. Anyway, my cat Storm, or my sisters. I don't know why I have The Hobbit. I did see it. Photos, mum, ex-girlfriends, which that is hard to explain. Most people would just take down photos of ex-partners, but like, we're still friends, and fuck, I'm not convincing anyone here. We are still friends. I saw her a few days back, and why not just remember the good times? I don't think it interferes with my life now. Anyway, here's a lovely photo from my parents' vow renewal ceremony with some close family friends. Some wood that my great uncle Bob, I have a Bob in my family, woo! He dries out and polishes and sands and stuff, and yeah, that's his hobby. Here's my travel jacket that I'll get this one out. This baby has been absolutely everywhere. I've mended it a bunch of times. There's a poncho behind it from Fairbridge, which is a fucking awesome festival, 25th year this year. Woo! It's so different now. As festivals are, and everything changes, but it's still why can't it just change with the same ideal of what it's meant to be? And I know it does, but it just loses some of the nuances, and people don't understand. I want to express that, but how the fuck do you do that when people aren't apparently interested? That's a weird conversation I had with my dad earlier this week. Anyway, yep, so there's feathers, and this knife here is a cool opal knife. You twist it, and then it pops open, and then you pop it up, and then you can twist it so it doesn't close. Anyway, I took this with me travelling last year when I went to India and New Zealand and East Coast and Europe and shit. And while we were in India, up in the Himalayas, in a place past Srinagar, fucking 3,000 meters high or something, got very sick. Anyway, at one point the Indians asked me, "Oh, can we use your knife? We like your knife to kill a sheep." And me being quite sick, I was like, "Oh, okay, I don't want to disrespect these beautiful people who are looking after us and feeding us and making sure we get back down to a more reasonable altitude. Yes, why not?" And then they didn't actually do it that day, but the day after, they essentially just rocked up back at the tent and was like, "Here you go, I've cleaned your knife and we've killed the sheep. Thank you." Not in that accent. I'm not going to even try, because I can't, one, quite remember what the accent was like, and also I'm Australian and part Dutch, so I'm not going to try and be Indian. Anyway, this is my hairbrush. I did it on. It's cool. Pretty happy with it. Chuffed. And all these feathers, and I made this little bookmark for someone that I haven't seen her since December. These things happen. That's cool. Here's a dartboard. I made that when my dad was replacing the hard drive in this old laptop, and was very adamant that me and my sister do not make noise, because I have not done this before, and if it fucks up, we lose all the photos, of which there is a very large amount. Yeah, anyway, all the posters, this is actually from a different ex, from the Royal Show, but the rest I bought a joint venture, and there's about 30 of these under my bed, and just under, including the ones on the wall. Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, there's some naked-ish girls, and no, I was going to say guys, but apparently there isn't many naked guy shots, and even when there are, they're just anyway, that's an argument for another time. Basically, I'm frustrated at the expression of male and female nudity within pop culture images and whatever else. Here's my large collection of books, many from the library, because reading's awesome, and this is some These Tennyson poems. I've met someone who doesn't like them. I like them. It's about 150 years old and sadly got very wet in India, but it's still very readable. And I'm actually reading it chronologically. There's like 600 pages, and it's like some of the poems are about 20 pages long or something. But yeah, they just fucking, these poets, man. Like back in the day, that was their thing, man. Like everyone, nowadays you're expected to do like everything. But in the past, you could just do your thing and be good at it. Like I don't know. There's both. Like people always lean to one or the other. Like some people just want to do that one thing, but. And I enjoy doing lots of things, but I think there's too much expectation nowadays to do everything. And you lose a bit of specialization, which is useful. Anyway, guitars, acoustic, electric, amp, which is dying. It's okay, it's a solid state, not a valve. Valves are when, like the old things they used to put in TVs, and they sound a lot better because you get this cool distortion once they warm up, and it goes. Sorry. There's also paint, which I bought recently, which is amazing because I'd been procrastinating and I couldn't decide between oil or acrylic. And then someone said to me, buy acrylic. You'll hate oil. Oil takes ages to dry. And you have to use terps, which gives you headaches if you don't ventilate. And I said sold. Yes, thank you. I do not want to have to ponder the question of acrylic or oil for any longer. Okay. There's the bench, there's rings, pens, and those Chinese meditating bowls that... No, that sounds awful. They are literally bowls. I can't be bothered showing them because I have to move shit. And my harmonica, which Emile in Paris, and I learned to play while I was traveling because I didn't have my guitar and I needed some music. I also did some beatboxing, which is fun. This is my friend's amp, which is... I haven't played it since I'm looking after it, who's living on the streets for a while and just wanted me to look after it for a bit. And so, yeah, it's more of a book stand at the moment. A little busking sign, and I made one for row 8 under it, which is cool. There's just more shelving. There's Meccano and pony beads, which is more commonly known as candy. Kandi. The colourful raver kind of bead things. Got into it, was pretty fun. More books. There's a notebook with my dream journal and a sketch pad. I can show you that actually. There's a cool little random tree. Yeah. Oil pastel, kind of metallic-y. Metallic-y. Letters, which I struggled to send while travelling because shit happens, like a lot of shit happens when you travel, which is good, but you don't have time to like keep in touch with old people, which is probably how it's meant to be. Oh yes, and there's stuff on the ceiling, which I did this piece of art, and there's random postcards, and trees, and stuff, and more stuff, and fucking, this is like organisation stuff. I did this one the other night. It's like what I want to do each night, and then I did a drawing. Sorry, each day. It's like date, wake up time, yoga, stretching, dream journal, checklist for day, meal, blog, tree, swim. Yeah, that's not gonna make much sense to you, but you know, notes, they work for you or me in this case. More stuff. As I mentioned, I love sticking stuff up everywhere because it just adds character, man. Like, come on. Woo! And why not? There's some doodles me and my sister did, like Mr. Squiggle style, like draw a line and then other person has to turn it into something. It's good. Woo! Here's a fun one. I went to this festival, Psytrance Day thing at a pub recently called Imagination, and my friend offered me this amazing drink called Fireball, which is cinnamon flavoured whiskey. I highly recommend. I don't know how much it is, though, but if it relatively. See, that's what we're doing. Oh, here's a good one. France. We got stuck at a petrol station at the Belgium-France border for like 23 hours, and then I made that sign, went outside, asked like 3 people, and then we got picked up by this guy who didn't speak any English, which was really fun because suddenly I had all this French, or a minuscule amount of French, come back to me from school, 4 years worth of French study, which I learned seemingly nothing, and then realised there is actually a little bit in there, because it does sink in, even if you force it away from you. It is a funny thing in here as well. Courtesy of my sister, I must ask you a question, but I'm shaving it for later. To potential blind people, which most likely wouldn't be watching YouTube, but anyway. Close my barrel of monkeys, because it was going to be chucked out. I was like, no, that's my childhood. Yeah, so as you can tell, there is a hoarding aspect in this whole situation of, I can't let go of these memories associated. Look, there's a fucking toothbrush. There's a toothbrush on my mirror-ish door thing. Anyway, I acknowledge that I hoard, but I consider myself more of a collector. Beer bottle cans, about 130 or something, all unique, which is cool. But yeah, I have to move out soon, so I'm actually going to be getting rid of all the things on the wall, storing the things I like, and throwing away the random things, like maybe this one, the sparkly thing. But I reckon it looks cool, like sparkles. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's a bit sad because I'm like, this is like the first time I'm actually happy with my room, because it's like an expression of me to the extent that it actually is just complex and beautiful and intense and crazy and neurotic and incessant and ridiculous and fun, as I consider myself to be. His patches, the Patrick Rainbow Elephant Who Lost All His Colour, if you guys remember that book. And cool business cards, some of them at least. These guys are cool. I met both of them. They're beautiful people, awesome artists. My friend Sophie Miletto, who teaches piano, and this person, she gave me her card. Oh, yep. I stacked it very badly over my sister's bicycle, which is very interesting. The world was saying, Jara, stop! Look at yourself. Change. Do better. You can do it. And yeah, a photographer ran over with a couple other people and said if I was okay, looked after my sister's bike for a couple of days, and then when I met her and grabbed the bike from her, she was like, oh, I'm a photographer. I was like, oh, that's cool. Can I get some photos? Yes. I'll give you a cheap deal, and if you get a few people and tell lots of people, you can do some for free, which was nice. And very cool. Anyway, what else? There's, I don't know if you can see, but it says, bitch please, if dicks could fly, your mouth would be an airport. Also courtesy of my sister, and there's I'm going to try and zoom in. Here's an awesome piece of art that my friend did. It's a photograph, but she did do it with a pen. And it's Tessa, amazing. There's an eye. My friend I met at Whopper, she was doing, I don't know. I don't actually know what she was studying, but I met her at Soundwave, and then one night as I was leaving Whopper, she just appeared. I was like, oh, it's you. You in the pink hair, and I felt like I was in some way in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, as this girl kept changing her hair colour, and I was probably a little bit in love with her, but yeah, she was an awesome friend. Anyway, there's this cool bunny made from junk in Africa. See, guys, junk art, like art, junk art, paperweight. My wallet, possibly my best friend's mum. I don't know. Best friend is a funny word, but yes, it's cool leather, and I like it. It's original, and there was a defect. It's just interesting. But I love it. It's not a defect anymore. And I don't know if you noticed, but there's a few sticks and things, and I'll just show you the crystals again a bit more detailed. But yeah, sticks, and I've also got this plant that's drying out from when I was down past Mandra. It's a little succulent, and I'm gonna plant him, and yeah, it just adds a bit of life and like naturalness and shit, and like I know I've got the big bright light on, but I'm gonna turn it off for a sec because like the candles are nice and shit, and I think this is the last bit I haven't showed you guys. You probably saw my skateboards before. I'll turn the light back on, but it's nice to have a moment of silence and just kind of naturalness. See, it's bright and crazy. Makes me go bonkers. Rollerblades, boots, steel blues. And I swear fucking steel caps are useless because whenever I get hit or something drops on my boots, it always drops like about a centimetre past where the steel caps end, so I don't know. Anyway, jumpers, ties, running shoes, security vests, sneak in somewhere. I don't know where all these came from, and I find a lot of clothes. So yeah, that's my room as it is currently, and I'm very happy with it. But it's not going to be like that for much longer. The thing there at the that one hanging there, that's from my grandma. I knew it was just needed. Posters. Yeah. So, jacket. It's a nice warm jacket. So yeah, I don't know what your room is like, but perhaps this video will prompt you to think about being creative with it, if nothing else. Peace and love, and keep shining ever so bright with whatever you're doing, and believe. Just know that you're going to get wherever you want to be. You just have to focus and have faith. I love you.